Right. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome to the 2021 two-day and next day Fsts graduation. Welcome, guys. So far this year, UPS has graduated an abundance of frontline supervisors, and today we are here to celebrate 14 more. Guys, I just want to let you know that I am super proud of each and every one of you. It's been a long 2 weeks, and I want you guys to each pat yourselves on the back for all the hard work that you've done over the past 2 weeks. But I want you to remember something. If you want to continue to grow in your career here at UPS, grow as far as being an effective leader, everything we did over the past 2 weeks, it doesn't end here. It can't end here. And I want you guys to always remember these 4 words. Keep that same energy. So, over the past 2 weeks, we've learned about a lot, right? We talked about accountability. You guys each talked about how important it is to hold your people accountable, as well as how you're going to hold yourself accountable. You talked about how, as a UPS supervisor, you're not only going to set the standard, but you're going to own the standard. So when you go back out into your operation 6 months from now, and those standards come out that you have to not only set, but you have to own it, and you have to hold people accountable as well as yourself, keep that same energy. We talked about communication, but not just communication, not just effective communication, but responsible communication, and how important that is for leaders, especially leaders in our positions here at UPS. To be an effective communicator, you can't just talk. It's not all about what you have to say. You have to be able to listen as well. And if you're not a good listener, you have to continue to practice so you can get better and better. Just like leadership, you practice that so you can become more stronger and more effective. So when you guys are going out into your operation 1 year from now, we talked about the barriers that it takes to overcome some of the problems that stop us from being able to communicate out in the operation. Keep that same energy. We talked about the difference between a leader and a manager. We talked about how a manager is a position. It can be a title given to you, but a leader is who you are. You know, managers, they do things right. Leadership, leaders, they do the right thing. We talked about motivation. How are you going to motivate your people? Are you going to motivate by power? Are you going to build and establish authority by building relationships with your people? Are you going to get people to do what you want them to do because you said so, because you're the boss? Or are you going to build relationships and people are going to do what you want them to do because they want to do that for you? So when it comes to motivating your people and deciding if you want to be just a management person or do you want to be a leader, when you look up 2 years from now, keep that same energy. We talked a lot about safety culture here in UPS and how you can create that world-class safety culture in your area just by your leadership. We talked about how important safety is in keeping our people safe, keep taking care of our people. That's basically what this whole class has been built around. How can we effectively take care of our people out there? So every day or night, before you go out into your operations, I want you guys to take a look in the mirror. Something we also talked about in this class is self-reflection and how important self-reflection can be. So when you're thinking about the safety picture in your area and how you have the effect on how your people work safely and taking care of your people, look in that mirror and during that moment of self-reflection, think about everything we talked about in class and how safety should be our #1 priority. And I want you to keep that same energy. When you guys go out into the operation, see the hands just went in the pockets. When you guys go out into the operation every day and you're faced with those challenging employees we talked about, the 4 challenging employees and the 3 employee challenges, and the time comes where you're gonna decide, am I gonna be that coach that we talked about in class, or am I gonna let this person sit by the wayside and I'm gonna set them up not to be successful? Keep that same energy. When stuff's going rough in the sort, it's getting chaotic. We all know that happens. And we have to decide, are we going to enforce our people to work safe and follow the methods and procedures, or are we going to let them take safe shortcuts to get the job done? Keep that same energy. When you're faced with folks who want to walk out the door, who want to leave the company, we've talked about in class what a good, effective management person at UPS needs to embody and able to keep people in this company. We've talked about that essential ingredient, the good people relationships. Are you gonna spend your time building relationships with those folks to keep our people here? Remember, train me better, treat me better, give me a good environment. Are you gonna take the time to make sure those things happen? Or are you just gonna let people to continue to walk out the door? In those moments, keep that same energy. Got it, guys?
Yes.
Okay. So, we talked a lot about leadership in this class and how to be an effective leader. And you guys all want to be effective leaders, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just remember, like I said, it doesn't end here and it can't end here. Just because you guys are getting these certificates, these fancy certificates with their nice stickers on them, and we're all dressed up in this nice conference room from this graduation, that doesn't mean you're emerging from here as effective leaders. We've just given you a toolbox. We've given you tools that you have to take out and you have to use every day. That toolbox can't sit in the corner and collect dust, and you bust it out and you break it out anytime that it seems convenient. You have to use it. You have to practice how to use those tools each and every day to be an effective leader, to emerge as an effective leader. So always remember that, guys. In order to stay successful, you guys have to do what? Keep that same energy. So UPS values the concept of partnership. And in this FSTS class, this being my 4th FSTS class that I've been able to facilitate, I've had a lot of partners help me out along the way. So I want to make sure I thank those partners. The FSTS coordinator, Megan Reese, I couldn't have done this without you. I want to give a shout out to Captain Norm and my next day partner, James Herman, who have helped us along the way and come to give their contributions to class, as well as the rest of the Air District management team that's taking the time out of their busy schedules to come to FSTS to speak to you guys. I want to make sure I give a special thank you to everything. This FSTS would not be possible without you all. So with that, we are going to start our FSTS graduation. First up, we have Hallie. Hallie received a perfect test score.
I'm Hallie Farnsworth. I work in Wing Bravo Outbound. I work for Savannah Bryant, Justin Webrink, and Gary Kelly. One of the biggest things I took from FSTS is probably how important it is to build relationships and how much that affects the operation.
Next up, we have Terry Smith. Terry received the Most Improved Award. He was voted among his peers as one of those who came to this class, and over the course of the 2 weeks, kind of came out of his shell and improved a lot.
My name is Terry. I work in Wing E in the unload. I work for Brandy Gwynn, Josh Riley, and Gary Kelly. What I got from FSTS is the importance of building strong relationships with your people to help maintain your employees to stay here and work with you.
Next up, we have Colin. Colin received a perfect test score.
My name is Colin. I'm with Mill Planning. I work for Brittany Hayes, Mike Moody, and Brandon Fortson. The biggest thing I took from FSTS is that communication is one of the very core things that makes a team work. If you're not good at communication, you don't even have a team, really.
Next up, we have Desmond. Desmond was part of the group who won our group competition. Desmond received a perfect test score, and Desmond was voted amongst his peers as our Legacy Award winner.
My name is Desmond Delaney. I work in Wing Delta Unload under Kyle Hawkins, Tom McPherson, and Gary Kelly. The most vital thing I've taken from FSTS is what it means to embody not only a supervisor, but what it means to be a leader.
Next up, we have Elizabeth. Elizabeth was also a part of the winning group competition team, and Elizabeth was also voted amongst her peers in a tie with Mr. Terry as one of the most improved throughout this workshop.
I'm Elizabeth Crane. I work in Next Day International. I work for D. Craig, Mike Sowers, and Mike Smith. One thing I took away from FSTS is realizing a leader is not just what you do, it's who you are as a person. Building your relationships, showing you're there for people and committed to the company is really what makes the dream work.
Next up, we have Brittany. Brittany was also a part of the winning FSTS group competition team. Brittany received a perfect test score, and Brittany was also the FSTS Knowledge Bee winner for this class.
My name is Brittany. I work in the World Freight Facility truck dock. I work for Brad Wright, Tony Meeks, Steve Merchant. And one thing I'm going to take away from FSTS is the importance of having relationships with all of your employees, co-workers, and management, and to keep the trust for good communication.
Next up, we have Skylar, and Skylar was also a part of the winning FSTS group competition team.
My name is Skylar Beams. I work in the 2-day South Court unload for Ryan Coombs, Cliff Cash, and Gary Kelly. One thing that I'm taking away from FSTS is to not only set those standards and expectations, but stand behind those and own them.
Next up, we have Trenton.
Good morning, I'm Trenton Parrott. I work in the 1-day Wingy ramp. I work for Steve Gumbel, Gerald Wolf, Jen Peterson, and Dave Delph. And what I took away from the FSTS school is that UPS is a family. They treat everyone the same. So when I go back to my area, no matter if I'm speaking to the janitor or Kel Tome, that I'll treat them all exactly the same. Thank you.
Next up, we have Julie.
Hi, I'm Julie Fry. I'm from Wing A Unload. I work for Michael Martin, Doug Smith, and Gary Kelly. One thing I will take back from FSTS is taking accountability for me and my workers.
Next up, we have Emily. Emily received a perfect test score. She also was voted to receive the Legacy Award for this class, and Emily was voted as best dressed throughout this workshop.
Thank you. I'm Emily Nesselrote. I work in the 2-day unload at Wing Charlie. I work for Travis Burton, Tom Schaefer, and Gary Kelly. And one of the main things that I've taken away from FSTS is that it's important to make sure that people around you are set up for success and to always try and help people around you as you yourself advance in your career.
Next up, we have Carrie.
Hello, my name is Carrie Castleman. I work for Mary Lyle, Tony Meeks, and Steve Merchant in the freight facility and truck dispatch. One thing I'm going to take with me from FSTS back to my operation is going to be the motivation and the energy that Megan and Lauren have provided for our class.
Next up, we have Andrew. Andrew received a perfect test score and was also a part of the group that won our group project.
Hi, my name is Andrew Abbott. I work in the Corps for Ryan Combs, Cliff Cash, and Gary Kelly. One of the things I'll take away from FSTS is, the man himself said it, Casey, Jim Casey to be precise, is that the measurement of your success is the degree at which you build your folks up. So I really want to take the energy from here and apply that to my everyday.
Next up, we have Grady. Grady was also a part of the group that won our group project competition.
My name's Grady Allred. So I work in the GSE department for Michael Romer, Joshua Hardesty, and Larry Whiteman. What I want to take back to my area to utilize from FSTS is just communication, the importance of it, and just being able to be effective with it.
And last but not least, we have Austin, and Austin was also a part of the group that won our group project competition.
I'm Austin Wan, up in 2-day load planning. I work for Chris Holzknecht, Mike Moody, and Brandon Fortson. And one thing I'm taking away with me from FSTS is the sum of the parts is greater than the whole. It's not just about UPS, it's about how we all come together and add up.
All right. So for our audience, I know you heard me say while giving out these certificates that we had our Legacy Award winners. So throughout this class, we asked everyone to vote on who they thought was motivational, inspirational, who really brought some contributions to the class. And if the fact that we had a tie for who would be our Legacy Award winner, that's the first time that this has happened as far as since I've been in FSTS, should speak volumes on the engagement, on the contributions, on the energy that this class brought to myself and brought to FSTS. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first Legacy Award speaker, Emily Nesselroth.
Hello again. First off, I just wanted to say thank you guys. I was very, very excited and very proud that you guys voted for me and our classmate Desmond. The fact that we tied is fun and fantastic. I've had a really great time with you guys and I've taken a lot from this class. I'm going to go ahead and read the legacy that I chose from the Jim Casey Legacy book. It is on page 56. It's a part of our philosophy on management. Through joint effort and not from the product of any one person's brain, we have our own special outline of management principles in our company's policy book. In our policy book, it is summarized the rules of the game. We have tried to keep away from unnecessary charts of authority. We want management without formality. We want professional management and yet on a personal basis. We want cooperative management. Of course, we have definitive lines of authority. Of course, we want to know who is responsible for what. Of course, we expect everyone to know what job it is and who is to do it. Such things are only a common sense for any management, whether a business is large or small. Management of the type I speak is more than cold, impersonal diagrams of authority and responsibility. It is more than the hiring of people and the directing of their efforts. Good management is making people do what you want them to do, voluntarily, willingly, and enthusiastically. Good management is taking a sincere interest in the welfare of the people you work with. It is the ability to make individuals feel that you and they are the company, not merely employees of it. Good management is your own worthiness to have and to hold confidence of others. Your associates really want to trust, respect, admire, and believe in you. It is your own fault if they don't. We cannot expect others to have confidence in us if we are deceitful, if our promises are not kept, if we resort to trickery, or if we are not sincere in our hearts. A worthy person or a person unworthy of anyone's confidence is half-beat before the first move is made. I chose this legacy because I feel like it's a great encapsulation of what we've learned and built upon in FSTS. One thing that I'm gaining a lot from this, and I'm very excited to take back to my area and hopefully improve my job and my employees' jobs, is just the confidence. Like, just having this group of people just be so encouraging. You guys have been so great. I've had so much fun, like genuine fun. Like, I know we're at work, but like, I was so happy that I got to sit in a classroom with you guys and get paid. Like, that was sick. Like, the last time I was in a class, I had to pay, and it was way too much money. But in all seriousness though, like, I do believe in you guys. I know we don't know each other too personally, but I've gotten to know quite a few of you, and you guys are great. And I know, I just see part of myself in you guys as well. Like, we all have a commonality. We all have that frontline soup name, but we're all humans. We're all working toward the same thing. And I believe that you guys can go back to your areas and be the best supervisor that you can be. I see it, I've seen it in class. I really liked that legacy. It just really touched on the importance of, you know, management isn't just numbers. And we all know that. We've been employees. Some of you guys have been union and you've worked up to supervisor. So you guys legitimately know that you're not just numbers. You're human beings. You work hard. And I don't want you guys to think that what you do is taken for granted. I know it can be really tough in the unload or wherever you work, but what you do is appreciated. It may not be seen in like grand gestures, but I guarantee you have many employees under you that you make a very small difference to. But like, for you it may seem small, but for them it's astronomical. I just hope that you guys had as much fun as I had. I hope that you guys can take what we learned in this class and apply it to your areas. I know that I definitely am. I'm very excited to get back and to see my employees and, you know, raise us all up a little more. Again, thank you guys very much for, you know, voting me part of the Legacy Reader. It was really fun. I've had a great time with you guys, and I'd love to keep in touch and go back to your areas and rock, you know? Don't let the hard days get you down, because they're gonna be there whether you're in a good mood or not. Just be in a good mood, I guess. But yeah, thank you very much.
Great job, Emily. As I mentioned before, we had a tie. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our second receiver of the Jim Casey Legacy Award winner, Desmond Delaney.
Hey, I'm back. So, that was a beautiful speech, Emily. I just like to say that. I'm honestly honored and humbled to be sharing this award with my counterpart, Emily. This past 2 weeks with you guys have honestly been the best time I've had in a while. I've got the heart-to-hearts with not just my teammates, but everybody in this room. I've taken amazing things from all of you. You're all amazing in your each individual way. And I just don't want you to forget that along the way, no matter what. But I'll go ahead and get into my legacy, which actually, we didn't plan it, but ties in pretty well with Emily's. We're gonna read People of High Motives and Honest Hearts on chapter 18 of page 93. Beyond these cold, inanimate reports are people who have red blood. Their thoughts and action can never be portrayed in figures, seldom in accuracy in words. In reviewing reports and statistics, I never think our organization is a great mass of people working for a daily wage and conforming to a fixed pattern. Rather, I try to think of each of the 10,000 as a separate, distinct, different in variety from ways of the other 999,000. I often try to imagine what I might do if I was in the place of any one of them under the particular circumstances of that person's daily life. I envision our organization as a means through which each member should be able to achieve a good measure of personal satisfaction and at the same time aid in advancement of the interest of all of the rest of us. And I'm convinced that these mutual desirable results will follow. If we will but convey to each person in the company a clear understanding of what our purposes really are. Given the understanding, I feel certain that the average person will reconcile individual peculiarities with the needs of our company as a whole. Without the understanding, that person is likely just to be an indifferent number on our payroll. with that being said, I just like to tie back the point. It's so easy to feel lost, like that we aren't a factor out there in the sort because of how chaotic it can be. It's easy just to feel like just another number on the payroll. I just want to take the time to, each of you are special in your individual way. Without any of you, none of us are here. Let me say that again. Without any of you, none of us are here. We go out, we do our thing, we manage our people, we build relationships with them, we make them. If we feel small, imagine our hourly employees. They just come in, they work, they do as they're told, and sometimes it goes without recognition. Recognition is huge in humans. We desire the fact to be recognized for what we've done. And I've talked to countless hourly employees that just say that they don't have a supervisor that feels like they're more than just a number. That really pains me, honestly, because without them, we're really not here. If there's no way to run our sorts, we're good to manage them, but if they're not here for us to manage, then what are we honestly gonna do? Nothing. But, sorry, but relationships is huge. Your people will do anything for you if they care about you. Like Lauren's been saying these past 2 weeks, you get a good crew behind you that you really care about and they really care for you. It doesn't matter what you tell them, how hard this sort will get. They will run through a wall for you. They will carry you to the moon if your leg breaks. Like, the importance of valuing each individual employee that we have is tremendous. One comment to the person on a bad day can change their entire outlook for the week. What we say as supervisors is so important, not only because we're the first line of management, because we're the first line of management that they come in contact with. The message we give them, they take with them and perceive the rest of management. If we're giving them a negative image of our management, that's what they go home, they tell their friends, they tell their families that they don't want to come here because we don't care about our people. I don't want that to be the case. Each person that walks through our front doors every morning is a valued piece of our functioning system. With one bad wheel, the car's not moving. I just like to take that again, reiterate that. Our people are our most important value. But once again, I'm just gonna go ahead and close that. And just reiterate once again, you guys have been amazing. I truly care about each and every one of you in this room. I'm not looking at this camera, I'm looking at each one of you. Each one of you means a lot to me. If you guys get back into your sorts, you need help with something, we still have our group chat. Reach out to one of us. We're all here for each other. Well, we are all one. Thank you for your time and thank you for sharing this award.
Thank you, Desmond. Again, Desmond, Emily, those were excellent legacy speeches. You guys really summed up what we've talked about a lot in this class. The power of your positions, the power that you guys have to affect people's lives, to change people's lives, to make a person's day. Some people talk about power, that's powerful. Always remember that. So guys, I go into every single FSTS experience super nervous before the first day. I don't know what to expect. I don't know what this group is gonna be like, but I just wanna tell you guys have been great. I am very proud of each and every one of you. You took a lot from this class. You took the understanding of the power of your position. You took the understanding of building relationships, accountability, communication, leadership, all that. But one thing that I think is extremely special is partnership. Look to your neighbor. Look at your neighbor. Partners. Look in the back of the room. Partners. Look on the side of the room. A partner. Look at myself and Megan. Partners. Look at what you guys have built. Look at these connections that you guys have built. And we are all going to be here for each other, just like Desmond said, for the rest of our careers. So you guys each have 14, 15, 16, 17 people that you can now reach out to for any need that you may have, and we will be here for you. So always remember that. Guys, this has been special, and I just want to thank you guys again for such an awesome, amazing experience. And I look forward to I expect to see each and every one of you guys be successful so far, or moving forward in your UPS career. Thank you guys, and with that, we will conclude FSTS graduation.